Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Remember to vote in the poll and like and subscribe for more cultivated mass next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building the Terminator, specifically the T-800 model. It might not be the biggest or the baddest, but it's definitely the most Austrian. Unless there's a big twist in Dark Fate, I guess I haven't seen it yet. But I will see it in the future, so maybe I have seen it? Timelines.
Driving on the highway, cruising so fast, I want time to fly. Fun, think about fun. You know what it is.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to be virtually indestructible, building ourselves with the finest steel Skynet has to offer. Next, we'll make sure that we know more about the timelines than everyone else, and give us a slight advantage in every fight. Finally, we'll get some investigative abilities to help us track down our time bounties. For stats, we're using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just make sure your strength and intelligence are up to snuff. Constitution will actually be our top stat. You get shot, stabbed, and exploded like it's nobody's business. Strength after that, you are modeled after Arnold Schwarzenegger. You've got to be able to lift. Intelligence next, we need it for some multi-classing, and you're an expert investigator. Dexterity will follow. Despite your lumbering physique, you've got to be able to aim. Wisdom's a bit low, we just need other stuff more, and we'll dump charisma. You're not much of a conversationalist. For race, we're going to be a Warforged, specifically a Juggernaut Warforged, which is a machine made to punch. You get +2 strength and +1 constitution, iron fists to deal 1d4 plus your strength modifier with unarmed attacks, and a powerful build to carry things like a large creature instead of a medium creature. All Warforged get Century's Rest, meaning that you can spend 6 hours not moving to get your long rest on, but can stay alert, seeing and hearing as normal. You've got Warforged Resilience for advantage on saves against being poisoned and resistance to poison damage. Magic can't put you to sleep, and you don't get exhausted by not sleeping. You're also immune to disease. The best part of rolling up a Warforged is integrated protection, which is saying something because the rest of that stuff was pretty great too. You get to choose how heavy you want to be at the end of a long rest, which really is the dream. If you want to be a full-on chonker, go for heavy plating for AC equal to 16 plus your proficiency bonus. If you want to be slightly more slim, go for composite plating, making your AC 13 plus your dexterity modifier and your proficiency bonus, but it only goes up by 2 from the dexterity. The difference is that heavy plating, while thicker than a Snicker, gives you disadvantage on stealth checks. So if you're tracking down some dude's mom, rock the composite. If you're defending that dude's mom's son, so that dude, I'd recommend the heavy. This is always active, so even when you're freeballing after coming through the time portal, it's going. For your background, build your own for investigation and history, call it the Time Traveler background or the Beefy Bodyguard, up to you. We'll kick things off as a fighter as opposed to a barbarian because you're not really one to lose your cool, and you need heavy armor proficiency to rock that heavy plating. You get to grab 2 skills from the fighter list. Athletics and intimidation will help you lift and scare people into giving you their clothing. For your fighting style, go for archery. Your aim isn't great at the moment. This will help you out. There's also Second Wind, letting you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level every short rest as a bonus action. Oh no, did somebody shoot you? That's not even going to make you break your stride. Keep walking forward, menacingly. Second level fighters get Action Surge, letting you take 2 actions instead of 1 once per short rest. That means after an hour, you're ready to recharge your badassery. I've messed this up in past videos. Maybe I should send this build back to fix those. Third level fighters can choose a martial archetype, and the Brood is from an Unearthed Arcana, meaning you'll have to get your DM's permission. If they say no, check out the Champion. It's pretty similar, but it's a little less consistent. Really, there's nothing broken in any fighter archetype. Base Druids and Paladins are still running around. Is hitting stuff good really more busted than wild shaping? No. It isn't. You get Brute Force, letting you add a d4 to every weapon attack. This isn't just for melee weapons either, so crossbows would work as well, which is how I always reflavor the guns here. Technically, this doesn't apply to punches, but just grab a light hammer if your DM isn't cool with it. Hell, grab a warhammer at that rate. Sorry to the DMs that don't like reflavoring things, and players who have those DMs, be nice to them. I'm sure that rules as written is more balanced, it's just not as conducive to giant robot punches. 4th level fighters can grab a feat, and you've got a lot of HP, but what if you had like way more? The tough feat adds 2 to your HP for every level you have and every level you get. Pairing this with your ridiculously high AC and already high constitution modifier, this is also a decent build for a literal tank. 5th level fighters get an extra attack, letting you attack twice instead of once as an action. I know that the Terminator is sort of lumbering, but remember, every round is 6 seconds. Arnie can land 2 punches in 6 seconds and can do that cool ass shotgun twirl reload thing to fire twice if you're shooting. At least you can next level. 6th level fighters can grab another feat. The crossbow expert feat lets you fire twice with a crossbow in the same round. For whatever reason, I always thought it took a bonus action to reload, so let me use this video to retcon all the older ones, like screenwriters who get hired to make Terminator movies. This feat also lets you fire at melee range without disadvantage and make an attack with a hand crossbow as a bonus action after you take the attack action. Still need a free hand to reload, so punch and pistol combo would be recommended, but a heavy crossbow is much more Arnold. Live your life. Bouncing over to wizard now, that's right, I said wizard. 1st level wizards get a spellbook with 6 spells in it. Comprehend languages lets you understand all spoken and written languages for an hour. For written languages, you do have to be touching the thing with the writing on it. Skynet probably has all their AI go through Duolingo at some point. Shield adds 5 to your AC as a reaction. With the heavy plating, that's going to be 24, which I'm told is pretty high. Identify lets you determine what a magical item does and how many charges it has left if it's one of those charged items. Alarm lets you set an alarm on a doorway or opening, alerting you if a creature crosses the threshold within 8 hours. Useful for when you come back to be a bodyguard. Long Strider increases your movement speed by 10 feet, so you can power walk with more power. That's about it for necessary spells, but let's get a little unnecessary. Burning Hands is a flamethrower that forces a dexterity saving throw of 8 plus your proficiency bonus and intelligence modifier, dealing 3d8 fire damage to those that fail in a 15-foot cone, half damage if they succeed. You can only prepare an amount of these equal to your intelligence modifier plus your wizard level per long rest. If you want to recover some spell slots, Arcane Recovery lets you recover a number of spells equal to half your wizard level on a short rest, so yours will cap at 1. Spoilers. For cantrips, Mending repairs a small crack in something or puts 2 pieces of something back together. I personally believe this should heal Warforged, but I've been told that apparently a healing cantrip would be so powerful it totally breaks the game. Whatever. Light creates a light. You don't have dark vision, so it's helpful. And Message lets you whisper something to someone within 120 feet of you and they can whisper back. It's like a walkie-talkie. These are sort of the requisite cantrips I'd give to anyone, so why take wizard levels if I don't care about spells? Well, it's because at the 2nd level, wizards can choose a school of magic, and the school of divination gives you 2 portents. These are d20s you roll at the end of a long rest that you can use to replace an attack roll, saving throw, or ability check rolled by you or another creature you can see. These don't have to be friendly creatures either, so if you get a 1 or 2, feel free to throw that on an enemy roll. Time travel isn't really a thing in D&D, but reflavor gazing into the future as just knowing the future, and boom, you're a time traveler. Kind of. Back to fighter 7th level brutes get brutish durability, letting you add a d6 to all your saving throws. This is especially useful for death saving throws. If this turns your roll into a 20 or higher, it counts as a natural 20 and you come back up with 1 HP. Then you can second wind and get back to Terminator. Or babysitting. They really should have called T2 Adventures and Babysitting too. Judgment Day just isn't accurate. 8th level fighters get an ability score improvement, and we're done with feats, so let's cultivate some mass with a bump to our strength for bigger punches and more lifting. 9th level fighters get Indomitable, letting you re-roll a failed saving throw once per long rest. Pairing this with Portents and brutish durability makes you very good at saving throws. You basically won't fail unless you voluntarily drop into some molten metal. 10th level brutes can grab another fighting style. You're not much for melee weapons, but if you grab something heavy, you should be good with it. Great weapon fighting lets you re-roll 1s and 2s on damage die with weapons you use two-handed. Think of it this way, you're forced to use the weapons of the era you return to because nothing inorganic can go through the time machine. So if you went back to Faerun, you'd probably want to use a glaive, hammers, or big-ass swords. What if every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is part of the same universe, and each Arnold is just a different T-800 being sent back to a different time period? Jingle All the Way just got way more interesting. Your brute force die also increases to a d6. 11th level fighters get another extra attack, so that's 3 attacks per action now. If you don't like the idea of a flurry of robot fists, 1, what's wrong with you? And 2, for heavy hitting fighters, I'll let my players reflavor it to be 1 hit, and the amount of attacks they land just indicates how hard of a hit it is. No mechanical differences, just a fun way to make your beefy fighter feel more beefy. 12th level fighters get an ability score improvement. Add some more beef to your mechanical frame with a bump to your constitution score. This will mean you get plus 6 HP every level, which is pretty insane. But don't forget, constitution improvements apply retroactively as well, so you're not getting 1 more HP from this bump, you're getting 14. Even more time travel. I'm really nailing this. 13th level fighters get another use of Indomitable. Consider these as bonus portents you can use only for your own saving throws. You kind of know what's coming. Unless Skynet sent another Terminator back to mess things up even further, that just opens up so many paradoxical questions, I don't think they're going to do that. 14th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Bumping your dexterity will alleviate the penalty from using composite plating instead of heavy, with the difference being 20 AC instead of 21 for no disadvantage on stealth. It also helps your ranged attacks land and deal more damage. It's nice to be well balanced. 15th level brutes get devastating critical, letting you add your fighter level to the damage of a critical hit, meaning massive damage anytime you get lucky. So if you've got a 20 portent, that means you can just pick an attack to absolutely wreck someone. 16th level fighters get our last ability score improvement, and I'll make this dealer's choice. If you prefer to punch or smack things, put it in strength. If you want to be fully unkillable, put it in constitution. If you want to rock the shotgun, put it in dexterity. The Terminator was literally built, so customize your build how you want it. Regardless, your brute force die will increase to a D8, so everything's going to hit a little harder anyway. 17th level fighters get another use of action surge, so twice per day you can make 6 attacks per round, which means 6d8 just in bonus damage in addition to the heavy hits you're already pumping out. You also get a third use of Indomitable to make you very heavy metal. Unless it's for a dex save, then like flexible metal. Our capstone is fighter level 18. 18th level brutes get survivor, letting you recover hit points equal to 5 plus your constitution modifier every turn you're below half your total HP, as long as you're not at 0. Pro tip, if you pick up a shield, dodge as your action, second wind as your bonus action, you can wait to get back to a healthy level while the enemy has disadvantage to hit a 24 armor class. That's pretty good. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you're competing to be the best tank we've ever built, with well over 200 HP, reliable recovery, huge AC, and lots of help for saving throws. You also hit like a truck with extra damage to every hit, 3 attacks per round, and decent modifiers for melee and ranged fighting, so you're a threat at any distance. Finally, portents are incredibly useful, basically letting you dictate how a fight is going to go before it starts. For weaknesses, your magical damage is extremely limited. If another Terminator is coming at you, you're going to struggle. You're also lacking soft stats, ranging from +1 to -1, so spell saves could be an issue. Finally, despite investing a feat and at least one of your ability score improvements to ranged weapons, you're still not capped with your dexterity, meaning you're not as great at a distance. But who cares if you're not a perfect shot when you can't die? Play the long game, take every hit you want to, and terminate, baby, terminate. Just remember, you're like a classic iPod, really cool until the new tech comes out. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 builds every week. I'm feeling pretty fantastic today, so vote for your favorite member of the Fantastic Four: the Invisible Woman, the Human Torch, the Thing, or Mr. Fantastic. And come back on Thursday to have a bad time.